Now we're going to be going into the bottom half of the winners bracket, and I believe that is Ninja who's playing off against who's his opponent?
It's Ninja and Hysteria versus
Hysteria.
Cypher and Jaomock.
That's right.
On our screens
Yes.
here. I believe
great
this is
matchup.
game number 1. So this is a very exciting match. This is our first time, at least on broadcast, today to watch Cypher and Jaomock play. If we know anything about Ninja and Hysteria, definitely the more passive team when it comes down to things. And Cypher, right? This is his first tournament without Nick Merckx. He kind of gets that revenge in winners run 1, taking down his old or prior teammate, probably using that fuel coming into games like this. I know a lot was argued like he was kind of more down for the passive play. He didn't want to go tilted every time. And I think that's kind of catering toward his strategy, which is, hey, I don't want to play that super aggressive role. I want to kind of hang back and play my own position. If anyone knows Cypher, they watch his streams, very technical guy, knows a lot about the game, and really has a lot of knowledge when it comes down to the little assets of this match as well, which I think is only going to help himself and Jaomock kind of continue on their run up to this point.
Yeah, so a very interesting initial from both teams, actually. They're both going to opt to go towards Shifty Shaft. So I'm not sure if that's where they initially called and they just wanted to stick to their guns, or if that's actually a counter strategy that's coming in for one of the teams. But we'll see if they stick together, if there's a lot of mirroring and shadowing that goes on here. Ninja and Hysteria, of course, on your left, Cypher, Jaomock on your right, who are performing incredibly well in this tournament, by the way, so far.
Yeah, so you didn't get to catch it earlier unless you're watching on your phone, but Ninja and Hysteria landed here earlier. This was kind of their area that they wanted to go to. Unfortunately, Ninja dropped really early on, but of course, Hysteria was able to save by eliminating 2 squads in Shifty. So you got to say, Hysteria's been playing out of his mind throughout this tournament. But yeah, both of them going here to counter each other. Could be a very tightly contested game here as we'll go from Shifty potentially over towards Tilted, and we could see a lobby wipe pretty quickly if these two teams are playing at their top caliber.
Yeah, that's great to hear about Hysteria, too. Not to say he played poorly last week by any means, but I think you could definitely see the difference in Hysteria's performance to Ninja's. Yeah, and I think him stepping up his game is crucial if they want to bring down the Titans in the FaZe clan right now. So I'm excited to see how Hysteria performs here in this match, and of course in that potential upcoming winners bracket final against FaZe.
And one thing that I always like to question, and usually when we see players go towards Shifty Shafts, is who's going to be the first team to make that rotation? Who's going to be the first squad to say, hey, do we kind of sit here, wait for the Greasy Grove kind of rotation of players to kind of make their way toward here, or are we going to go toward Tilted Towers? And based off both of our teams' play, you could argue Ninja and Hysteria are probably the more passive of the two, but this is going to be a really big proving ground right now, is who wants to kind of play that aggressor role and who can try to find the engagements. It looks like Cypher definitely having a few in his line sight does take down 1, as that's going to be his first frag on the board. In total, Cypher and Jaomock up to 3, and for Ninja and Hysteria, it's all Hysteria at the moment, also with 3 kills in total. So we're even toward, the first quarter of the map being taken out here.
Yep, and it looks like we are going to see a mirrored strategy. So if I had to guess, I think Cypher and Jaomock did their math. They studied, they watched, they saw that Ninja and Hysteria dropped Shifty Shafts earlier, and they are just purely countering them move for move. You see them trailing them right now up towards Shack Mountain, moving over towards Tilted Towers. Cypher did a good job of grabbing that kill earlier, and now it's going to be a mad dash for kills in Tilted.
You know, the thing about Shifty that I love so much, I'm a huge fan of going Shifty, is because the competition. Oh, what a stick! I think that was, in fact, Cypher who got that elimination. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but he was throwing plungers literally blindly just straight ahead, and he was able to get elimination. Great Kobe throw on his part. But going back to the Shifty talk that I was talking about, Shifty is kind of one of those areas where it's kind of easy to overtake. Typically, I can land there, and I can even get out of it myself. Come out.
Wow.
I'm telling you. That's saying something when you say that, right?
I'm just messing around, buddy.
But 100% true, because if I could go in and dominate an area, there's something to it. But you can go into Shifty, you can pick up some good loot, you can get some kills, and of course then you have options to rotate through. And typically for these guys, they like to go Tilted. I like to go Tilted myself. That's typically where my run ends. But Shifty is a good area to go to.
Yeah, man. Like I said, they have a lot of opportunity to go for. It's a great location, right? You're put in a pretty good spot when it comes down to the map. A lot of the times you have a pretty decent opportunity of being in that initial zone. You also like when it comes down to typical landing spots. We talk about Salty Springs. There's retail. There's obviously Tilted from time to time, and Shifty Shafts has kind of been that one location that we really don't talk about too much, but it's always a normal landing spot for a lot of our teams who are kind of playing a little bit passive, but also want to kind of have that aggressive role as well. As speaking of aggressive, though, Cypher getting in quite a few engagements at the moment, quickly going for the builds. We talked about he has a lot of familiarity when it comes down to Tilted Towers, but not the most of positives. In this exact situation, thankfully, has his teammate Jaomock to join alongside of him, as they're going to take down a few of these players, now up to 10 kills in total. And I believe, at least so far, entering in toward Tilted Towers, it has been all Cypher and Jaomock. Only one frag, only one elimination has been found from Ninja and Hysteria since they entered in toward Tilted.
Yeah, and Cypher's just doing a phenomenal job of tracking down any opponent in sight, playing aggressive and always staying one step ahead of Ninja and Hysteria. And not only that, but he's hitting shots. His AR is lasering. Not sure if you guys saw that right there, but his ability to down that guy over towards L Towers was beautiful, able to turn with the support of Jaomock, picks up that kill, and Cypher and Jaomock off to a great start here, playing incredibly well.
Yeah, they are for sure. As Ninja and Hysteria, they're like, you know what, we're done with Tilted. We're going to go ahead and push forward, and they're going to be crossing over the river and just trying to get into that circle, deeper into the circle. Of course, typically
they split here too.
Yeah, they're going split. This is Split Mountain. This is something that Landon like to call it. But one thing about it is, splitting up is not a bad idea here. They do have confidence in each other. Obviously, both are very capable individuals at this point. They know if they run into a squad each individually, they'll be able to finish off the competition, but also splitting up doubles their chances of finding more engagements. Whereas Cypher and Jaomock, they're staying in Tilted. Not a bad strategy overall. As you see, the storm is in fact going to be collapsing down, and the edge is going to be right on Tilted. So a lot of players are probably going to be collapsing down into Tilted, so more engagements still remain. But with Ninja and Hysteria pushing forward, they're going to be deep in this circle, which means they could have potentials for a lot of engagements as the circle will collapse down, putting them in position over Cypher and Jaomock, because they're going to have some distance to travel.
Yeah, and I like this play call too. Actually, Cypher stayed tilted in case of that late rotation, but Jaomock just continued to shadow, I believe that's Hysteria, who pushed over towards factories, and now he might be able to pick up some of these kills in this area. Of course, Ninja on the other side of the map, he's going to be roaming by himself. It looks like Cypher's going to opt for the rotation over towards factories as well, so they're putting a lot of their eggs in this basket of factories right now. We'll see if it pays off.
Yeah, firing a few TAC SMG shots to the backside, of course, a very prominent weapon when you put it in unison with that pump shot, of course, firing from above. Jaomock now up to 5 kills in total. Of course, with that knockdown should be good for 6 soon, but as Cypher begins to join the fight, you could argue right now a 2v1 situation where Hysteria was looking to try to get off this split, looking for an opportunity to get a few of these cutting rotations. However, that is totally ruined by the counter that comes through from Cypher and Jao.
Yep, and of course, Joe's still one step ahead of Hysteria is the craziest part here. Even though he was actually trailing him at first, Jaomock's going to pick up almost all of these kills. Can he get that one too? It's going to be Hysteria who's able to sneak that one. But when it's all said and done, I believe that was a 2 or 3 to 1 kill trade in favor of Jaomock. So they're just going to extend that lead here. All eyes on Ninja at the top left of your screen right now as he found himself a squad. I like the split push, and let's see if Ninja can pull it off.
Yeah, this is going to be a big point for Ninja to hold down. Dusty, of course, is that inside that landing triangle and kind of one of those areas that if he can lock it down, he can find a lot of engagements, as we see evidence on his screen at this point, but does take some damage. Going to be okay. Manages to finally get that elimination, putting him at 3 total kills at this point. Some good loot in his back pocket. Of course, he will, in fact, be finding more engagements as the match is going to continue, but it comes down to positioning at this point. Cypher and Jaomock, they have found a lot of great frags, but of course, being at Loot Lake, it's going to slow down considerably. But Hysteria, like you said, he's in the back there, and he's kind of mirroring Cypher and Jaomock at that point, so he's going to monitor the amount of kills, the amount of transfers of the opponents that are going to be coming in Cypher and Jaomock's way. So at this point, Hysteria, it's kind of that wild card. He could pick up some kills and kind of tie it up here.
Until you called it, there comes the tilted rotation. So that team's actually pushing from tilted side, exactly as you mentioned earlier. But again, Hysteria trying to play aggressive for that fight. He has 2 people right behind him. That's Jaomock and Cypher looking to snag those kills actually as well. Actually, it looks like they might be jump heading away and giving Hysteria that squad push. So interesting call comes in through for Jaomock and Cypher. Maybe they see something across Loot Lake.
I believe it's just actually maybe for the zone. They don't have to deal with because obviously there's 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Loot Lake takes a little bit of a while to get across. So I think what they're doing in the situation is saying, hey, we're going to cut our losses. We want to make sure we have a good map position and then try to challenge these things later rather than kind of going for those kills. Of course, you could argue maybe they try to go for that fight and then jump pad later. You can do that at any point during the game, but they're trying to see an early exit. If we know anything about Cypher, right, he knows a lot about this game. He has a mind games, very technical player. I think he's thinking about the future of this match, which of course is that map positioning.
Yep, and it looks like I'm watching Hysteria now engaging in this fight. He puts himself in a pretty dangerous spot here. Could have built above himself. And has not really positioned or walled himself off really well to defend against the member at the top mountain. So Hysteria is going to go down. That is crucial. All up to Ninja in this one. I think there could have been a different way that Hysteria could have played that. Regardless, tough situation to be in a 1v4. Easier said than done, of course.
And maybe that was something Cypher and Jaomock were adding into account. You question why are they kind of leaving. Maybe they were like, you know what, Hysteria, he could pick up a team elimination there, but he can also go down and put Ninja, because they knew we were split, could put Ninja in a position where he's going to have to 1v2 us. But of course, though, Ninja in this position is absolutely flawless is we see him picking up several kills. He was managing Dusty. You saw him with the thermal sight. He was dinking shots left and right over on the opponent's straight ahead. Now he's in another team fight, and he's just getting shot after shot, knock after knock, and looking incredibly strong as Ninja is looking to keep Hysteria and himself alive going into game number 2. He is now, though, on the edge of the storm, which means he's going to have to push in. Sypher and Jaomock now are going to have the position, but as I say that, Ninja does go down. But a good performance.
Yeah.
5 kills for him, but of course, Sypher as well as his teammate Jaomock got a lot of work ahead of them to continue this lead, but a great placement of the trap.
I think you could argue in this situation, like, what more could Ninja do
Yeah.
in that spot? Like, literally taking down players, constantly being super aware. But I think a little bit of frustration was definitely on his stream there at the end. Like, how many players are over here, and why are they in this exact position? Like, why are they not so far out of the zone? But
yeah, and ultimately, when you lose height advantage, it's something that Myth speaks about often in his streams.
Right.
When you lose height advantage, you just got to give it up. Ninja tried
Yeah.
getting height advantage back, and he ended up getting punished there. He had 3 down as well. Did not pick up those kills. Those revives are going to come in, so that is costly for Ninja and Hysteria, who now trail significantly in this kill count. We'll get you guys an updated score here as soon as we can.
And when we really look at like the kind of big moment throughout this entirety of map number 1 was kind of like through that split we were talking about. Ninja and Hysteria, they kind of separate from one another. There was definitely positives and negatives to it regarding the factor of like, hey, Jaomock and Sypher, there's still an opportunity for Hysteria to kind of steal a few of those team kills overall. But generally, it kind of comes down to the play of, hey, maybe if Hysteria had Ninja in that play, he stays alive. We're talking about a much closer game at this point. But with, 13 engagements left, you could argue at least Sypher and Jaomock are going to see all of them. You could probably argue that, hey, the split was probably not the best of situations in this particular play. We talked about the ability to have this team likes to play passive, could definitely kind of help them out a majority of the time. But the one time they don't play passive, it does not work out in their favor. But Jaomock, 2 HP and a dream, thankfully finds quite a few bandages off the ground and trying to reassess the situation. But Sypher, at the same time, also taking damage. We talk about the little bit of an advantage that they would have is to stay up and try to find as many kills as they possibly can, but taking a little bit of fall damage potentially is Sypher. But no, he is on the edge of nearly taking down a few players. I think they're all surrounding him right now, nearly to try to go for the quick meds and, like I said, try to go for these final few frags that happen to be right in front of him.
Yeah, at this point, it's all extra credit. I'm sorry, but as we see now, he is in fact going to be getting a knock there on the player just ahead, and he's going to go for the elimination. As we do see both players are going to be sticking together, pretty low in health, but doing okay to pick up these final few frags. As we see another player is going to be above, and he will in fact get that thirst too, as that player is just
The
like,
bug off
please,
the windshield type play
please just
there.
leave me alone. But no, not going to leave him alone. Sypher is in fact going to pick up that elimination, as now we're down to 10 engagements.
Yeah, 16-10 is the score right now. As Ninja and Hysteria did a good job with that split, picking up a few kills. But again, to Landon's point, ended up costing their lives. So you wonder if it was the right play. I like the decision early on. I think they can clutch up. We've seen them clutch up before, but unfortunately, things did not go their way in this scenario. Now, only 12 people left, 10 others in the game. They're going to be in a good position to rack up potentially a 20 bomb here.
Phase 1. So we have a score update, and we broke away from the Courage and Scissors match, of course, because we knew at that point FaZe was just gonna kind of take off and just go for that extra credit points. Yeah, they won 21-0.
Oh, was that all?
21-0 as wow. That's a lot.
I think Courage is going to need to give the hype speech of his life just even to make a little bit of a dent in that overall lead, man. I mean, talk about the FaZe guys. No remorse whatsoever. Just constantly destroying opponents as they went through. I'm just imagining a lot of slow motion, like just punches in the face of random opponents throughout the Fortnite map. Just absolute destruction. 21-0. Ugh, that's going to be
That
it's
hurts.
gonna be a little bit difficult, to say the least. To try to make that comeback.
Legion is somewhere out there crying at
He
this
is.
point
Most
for
likely
his
is.
son. Just is that a huge disadvantage? But here we are. Final engagements are
Jeez.
remaining. Some knocks coming down. We saw Jaomock with a great snipe. It comes down with the edits and is able to pick up yet another one. It goes for another with a snipe shot. You talk about heating up. Jaomock, my boy, is in fact playing his heart out.
This is what I want to see, man. This is the guy who I've been like super hyped about. He played with Thieves last week. I think he had like a top 8 finish, but we didn't really get to watch them play too much. I have been waiting to see Jaomock finally prove what he can do in the game of Fortnite. I was thinking like him and Sypher, if they can get through that, whoever can win that winners round 1 game between Nick Merckx and Sypher's team would have a huge opportunity to make it very far in the bracket. Of course, we obviously see Jaomock and Sypher make it through, and this is the opportunity. This is the thing that I wanted everyone to see, how talented Jaomock is at this game. I think he's one of the best builders in the entire world, and only gives more credit this guy is also unfazed. Like, they have so many solid players. Talk about Tfue and Cloakzy. Now the people at home finally get the opportunity to see, hey, it's not just Tfue and Cloakzy. They've got a lot of other guys in the roster who have such amazing skill, and Jaomock happens to be one of those guys.
Yep, 13 kills. The Jaomock's name is going to hit that snipe. No, not going to connect for what would have been a crazy killing spree. But Jaomock is certainly popping off here. In that last sequence, didn't miss shots. He's also showing something important. The double pump is still viable.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people.
Oh,
my
my.
gosh,
How far was that?
162.
162.
And it was a quick
goodness.
scope at that. Beautiful
Yeah.
shot from Jaomock comes in.
Jeez.
But to kind of finish that point, a lot of people are starting to say double pump with an SMG is the way to go now.
Yes.
But Ninja and Jaomock in this game are still proving that. I think that double pump is still very viable.
Oh, it definitely is. Of course, they nerf.
There it is.
Jeez, can the players please protect our heads as Jaomock is going in with a vengeance? See, 2 players remaining with the knock there, and of course, I believe it's just going to be one more player at this point as the elimination does come in, and they're going to be trying to thirst for this final poor soul.
I mean, he
who's
is
out.
in
And
phase.
hello, how you doing? As he just like that's the
so
the
unfortunate.
opponent.
The definition of a default skill.
That is
She
staring
went out-
at a wall.
She went out with a smile, though.
she
at
did.
least.
She was smiling. And the googly eyes.
you know she's happy. She's like, oh, I placed second place. I did so good. 0 kills on her barbecue.
Yeah, exactly. Sat in the bush the entire
But
game.
man, what a performance, and especially too. We talked about Jaomock, Sypher as well. Sypher comes in his first time not playing with Nick, and they come in and they have a 15 kill lead. Of course, moving into the potentially moving into the or not the grand finals, but at least the finals here to face off against FaZe, which is that's going to be a powerhouse match. And if they imagine winning that and knocking FaZe down to the loser bracket, we talk about obviously Sypher made a good team change, but Jaomock as well is going to be boosting his ratings in terms of popularity whenever it comes to skill set.
And this is the opportunity for Jaomock to face off against his regular teammates, right? When it comes to the squad games, right? Facing off against Tfue and Cloakzy, who you could imagine, right? They probably have a lot of similar strategies. I mean, they've
point.
had countless hours playing alongside each other. So I think this is a huge proving ground to say, like, you know what? Tfue and Cloakzy, my friends, right? Fellow comrades, you guys are great, but this is my opportunity to really show out. And I think he has a great teammate in Sypher. Of course, he's a very technical player, very smart player
Yes.
as well. I think who has a lot of knowledge when it comes down to this game. I think really only helps Jaomock in those strategies and whatnot to really kind of increase the gameplays. This is a very solid team who easily could make their way into the grand finals and have somewhat of an impact for Tfue and Cloakzy. So,
of course, as you see on your screen, the bracket, we already know what's going to happen between this, who's moving on to play FaZe. But let's go ahead and go down to the losers bracket and kind of see what's going on down there, because that's something that we haven't talked about so much in this tournament. But as you see there, HD and Crafty will be going against King Rich Name by
That's a
Calvin.
great one.
That match is probably already underway. Of course, they'll move on to play Banks and Yellow. Yellow, one of the guys that Landon's been talking about throughout this tournament. We see Daquan and Camille's going against Quebblecop, which Quebblecop's making a phenomenal run throughout this tournament. Really impressed me overall. And then seeing down there, of course, FaZe Rain, FaZe Blaze, Nick Merckx, and Parallax going potentially against Myth and Hamlins. But Game 2 is about to be underway between these guys. 15 kill deficit. Where do we expect Ninja and his man Hysteria to go to?
They have to play aggressive. They absolutely have to. They can't continue sitting outskirts. So no lucky landing, no outside pleasant triple decker. You're
Right.
going to have to land, I think, at Salty Springs. I think at Tilted Towers.
I definitely agree with that. I think getting a little bit of an issue with the players. I think they're going to restart everything and whatnot. But yeah, kind of going back onto what obviously Fallout says there. It's kind of like normally these guys are a team who wants to kind of play outskirts. They want to play slow, kind of advance themselves throughout the game. But yeah, I definitely agree. I think a split is needed. Where they go exactly, you could list places like Pleasant. You could list Retail, Salty, Tilted. At least one guy needs to go to one of those locations while the other also does the same thing. It wouldn't surprise me if maybe like a double Tilted was in mind here in this situation, but I think a split drop needs to be the case.
Yeah, and I think a split drop between these two would be a very viable answer. Like we were talking about, they can split and be okay. They both know how to eliminate teams. They play solo squads a lot, and they both are capable of coming in big.
Yeah.
But a Tilted Salty, as you said, Fallout is probably what I would have to go with, or at least what I would tend to be thinking. But of course, looking at the other end with Sypher and his teammate, of course, I would expect them probably to maybe land Shifty. I think
Shifty again.
I think
No reason
Shifty
not to.
worked incredibly well. Plus, it gives you the potential. One of them is going to be, or one of your opponents, Ninja or Hysteria, is going to be going over Tilted. You go
Right.
Shifty, clear that out, get
You can
inventory
go
up,
steal some kills.
and then steal some kills. Meet up with either Ninja and Hysteria and Tilted.
Yeah, that's a great point. Another viable opportunity for Ninja Hysteria is to drop together, but to split mid-round. So they can still play a little bit passive if they maybe decide to go like a Shifty, but they need to split almost immediately if they want to work their way back into this one.
Yeah, and based off the battle bus, pretty much everything everything's going to be viable. So this is a great drop. I mean, it's a pretty common drop when you look at things, but at least when you're talking about Ninja and Hysteria, a wrench isn't thrown in the setup. You can make pretty much typical plays, but it looks like off the start, based off where the beacons are at for the most part, we do see one onto Dusty Divot, which doesn't really mean anything. But, yeah, we'll see exactly what takes place here. I believe, yeah, we're going to see one early drop. That's going to be Ninja, most likely making his way toward Tilted. And Hysteria, I believe.
Hysteria, almost, he actually looks like he will be hitting up Dusty potentially. He's got at least the route down to be hitting up Dusty. And if he does so, this would be the first Dusty pivot push we've seen.
Sypher and Jaomock are going outskirts of Salty.
Not a bad play.
Yeah, not at all. I think this is a pretty typical play when we look at things. But yeah, definitely an odd call here for Hysteria to be making a play like this. It looks like I don't even know what this exact call out is. Obviously, it's a cabin, but like I don't really know. I've never seen anyone land here. Put it straight to you.
Yeah, I haven't either. Fallout. What can you make any sense of this?
Yeah, very, very interesting. So they can backtrack and pick up kills in Anarchy Acres, which is not the most populated area.
Well, speaking of which, the Battle Pass actually
is an Anarchy.
Is an Anarchy this week.
So that might be a logical drop there. And then of course they get a lot of the kills that are risky. Keep in mind the bus did come from the north side of the map where risky is, so you can expect a lot of people to be dropping risky side. So it's not as crazy of an idea as it seems. I know they need to get high kills, but Ninja is the man to do that. He's in Tilted Towers. He's the one that's going to pop off. I think Hysteria's goal is to try and get some teams rotating after winning some fights at Anarchy Acres and Risky, and that's an easy squad wipe of 2 teams. That's 8 kills right there.
All right, so we'll definitely have to see how that's going to play out, but I think the biggest story at this point is, in fact, going to be Ninja over at Tilted. He's got to go big at this point, but we did notice the trajectory. There's probably not going to be a lot of teams here at Tilted, so it might be pretty quiet overall. There is probably going to be a player just below here, and Ninja is on the prowl, and there it is. Hello, Peekaboo, as he comes around the corner and picks up an easy kill there to put him at 1 total. But Hysteria now has finally made his way over to Anarchy. As you said, Fallout, he might be doing so.
And one thing that's
kind
of odd is that we talk about, like, I mean, Tilted Towers obviously still yet to be seen regarding, how many players are available. Sypher and Jaomock, they've pretty much like almost got most of the buildings out in Salty Springs, and they haven't seen a soul. Like, I don't really know what exactly is the case with this landing zone, but maybe everyone just happened to go lucky landing for some odd reason, or happened to all kind of parade around Moisty Mire. But kind of a slow game off the start for both squads.
Yeah, and it was the far side of the map, Salty, so it was past the halfway point.
Right.
We do know the statistic that generally, more people drop early on, maybe about 60, 70% of people. So interestingly enough, that no one's there is really strange, but Ninja has been heating up here. Going to place a nice little trap. Oh, I'm waiting for the trap. He wants it.
Oh, grenades. No. Watch out. No, Ninja.
Deadly.
That Omega needs to be careful too, man.
How's the Omega still alive?
Yeah, I was going to say, like, okay, the grenade comes in. Omega's probably about to be dead. Somehow they both stay alive. Ninja, though, 62 HP.
My gosh.
And the quickest pump shot you'll see today. Fantastic play coming through from Ninja. He'll escape now with 4 eliminations in total. We talked about it. He needs to stay alive inside Tilted Towers. He is the driving force behind what this comeback could be. Of course, Sypher and Jaomock, they can do whatever they want. They can kind of play passive. They don't really have to kind of force the engagements. It's all a Ninja and Hysteria. And in quotes, you have to say Ninja, the highlighted player at the moment, goes for the bounce trap play and could easily find yet again another kill in his midst. Of course, rocking the pump and heavy strategy. It's working out very well.
Definitely is. It looks like he's going to be kitted up fairly well at this point. He's got the hunting rifle in his back pocket to kind of showcase a little bit of his skills. We know Ninja hits the nastiest hunting rifle shots. Of course, Tfue does as well. In the past, we've seen him doing incredibly well.
We saw Jaomock last game.
We saw Jaomock last game, exactly, but 25 to 15, 10 now, as we knew it was a 15-kill deficit. They've managed to chip away at that. But imagine if Hysteria was picking up kills himself. But we do see Jaomock. He's going to pick up a kill, as we'll be able to potentially see it. As there it is. It's going to be right in front of him over at Dusty, as they're going to kind of hang out here, as they're going to lock it down. Of course, this is the main transfer point, and it looks like they're making quick work of these teams that are going to be listed in here. And at this point, they're not looking for a lot of kills. They're just looking for enough to kind of go pound for pound with Ninja and Hysteria.
And a great position to do that. And one thing that's really interesting is Hysteria has yet to see a soul. So that drop, we put some logic behind it, but it did not pay off. Surprisingly enough, he's still kind of lingering around the Loot Lake area. I would like to see him commit a little bit more towards Risky, maybe Tomato Town, as that's where I think a lot of the stack's going to be. This Pleasant Park rotation usually is only going to net you one team, and you're so far from the rest of the map that it's going to be difficult to find anyone else. So I think Hysteria needs to be more of a factor here if they want to win this one.
Yeah, like Ninja's obviously doing everything he can. Of course, is in the primary spot to do exactly that. But yeah, Hysteria, we were kind of making a little bit of a means exactly what the call was in this situation. I think normally in a spot, if he wants to kind of play passive, he could have gone outskirts Salty. Well, he couldn't, obviously, because Sypher and Jaomock go there. Maybe he goes Shifty Shafts, try to maybe play a transitional role where it's like, okay, once Hysteria has looted, Shifty Shafts, he kind of runs past Ninja, helps him out a little bit in a squad match or a squad engagement, and then kind of propels himself into Dusty Divot. I don't know, I feel like there were so many opportunities where it wasn't like Sypher and Jaomock are controlling the entire map. They just went to one location. You easily could have countered that by going somewhere else. But goes to like I said, a little bit of an awkward spot, and yet to find anyone. They need to really bring back this deficit, and you only got one guy who's doing it right now.
Yeah, that's the thing that, just Ninja, I mean, he's finding engagements left and right. Unfortunately, though, taking some shots from the back, defensive build has to come out. The players are going to be up on top of the hill to his right as well as to his left, so he's going to go ahead and dip out. He does have some Band-Aids in his back pocket, but he doesn't have minis to kind of kit up or heal up at least quickly, so he's rotated around. He might have the vantage point on these players just above. His hunting rifle is out trying to go for the shots, but now he's going to heal up, and wisely so, but he's in a bad position here, boys.
Yeah, no, like I said, no shields whatsoever, and he's going to go for the engagement. 66 HP. He realizes the aggressors are just on his heels, does not want to lose that high ground advantage, so he'll go and take it himself. Of course, heavy shotgun in his back pocket. Rock shot the dual pistols. We know those can do quite a bit of damage coming in through quick, and there goes the nice frag. The elimination being found from Ninja. Of course, that is a sole player. Player died immediately, so he can at least rest in on the fact that, hey, probably not going to have an immediate engagement on my heels, but if you know anything about Tilted, as soon as you start to think that, there could be guys at your heels at any moment. But just as we start to speak on those engagements, right now, Sypher and Jaomock are starting to add toward their totals as well. Jaomock now up to 4 eliminations in total, starting to kind of release what we've seen, the amazing plays from Ninja off the start. They're kind of getting silenced now.
Yep. Taking a look now, Hysteria still roaming around the same area at Loot Lake.
Yeah, man.
And, I pointed out because it's crucial. They're down 10 kills going into this one. They need, is it 10 or 15? 15 kills going into this one. They need to go huge. Right now, sitting at a 14-kill deficit, only 35 people left in the game total, 31 not including their team. They got to play a lot more aggressive here. And it looks like Ninja's going to rotate over that direction, meet up with the rest of the gang, but it is not looking good for the powerhouse, Ninja and Hysteria. They still do have the losers bracket, not to get ahead of ourselves here, but they got to find something, some sort of miracle to bring this one back.
Yeah, it's just a little bit too slow for Hysteria. Unfortunately, as like you said, coming back it's going to be pretty tough at this point, and which is really unfortunate. We see Ninja, I mean, he's constantly finding these engagements, but imagine if Hysteria would have landed somewhere like retail. Maybe he would have landed risky. Where a lot, I mean, it's a very risky idea, no pun intended, but if you think about it, I mean, the game could have been much different, but of course, he went for Anarchy thinking that Battle Pass would be a lot more players there, and unfortunately, there wasn't, and that is, in fact, going to be probably the reason why they might lose this game overall, minus the fact that they died relatively early in that first game, but got to be thinking Sypher and his teammates are looking incredibly well, but Ninja, once again, still getting those kills. I mean, he's looking impressive, I got to say.
But,
he got outbuilt there, too.
At the same time, though, while he's done a fantastic job, in that particular engagement, finding all those kills and Tilted Towers, it's equaled out to a 2-kill advantage in Game 2 when they were already down. It really, not that it means nothing, but it almost really doesn't. As far as Hysteria's play, if Hysteria could kind of add on to that, take away maybe a few of the engagements that Sypher and Jaomock could have walked upon or anything along those lines, it would mean something. But we're getting to the point where it's pretty much an even game after game number 1 and a massive advantage for Sypher and Jaomock. And we're talking maybe, 28 more engagements? It's looking a little bit slim. If Sypher was about to get into engagement, it has to be now. They have to put their foot on the gas pedal and really get things going because they have waited far too long to start to try to really hammer in on this advantage from the opposition.
Yeah, definitely so. Still, kills dwindling away. It's a little bit slower than I thought it'd be, but overall, though, only down 13 total kills. And I say only very loosely, but still, with that being said, I mean, there are engagements still remaining. Sypher and Jaomock, though, do have position on that circle. We will see Hysteria finally making his way to kind of a populated area. Dusty Divot, of course, that has been cleared out earlier from Sypher and Jaomock, so kind of got to really search deep if you want to get those kills. Sypher in an engagement himself, great building to kind of get that high ground, kind of whiffs it just a little bit. It will be brought down, though. That will amount into some fall damage, not as much as probably he thought he was going to take, and now he's just got to edit his way through, and this is going to be Sypher. Can he get out of this situation?
And, of course, nice little transition play. I noticed he was realizing the fall damage was about to take place. What he does is he actually tries to build down as quickly as he possibly could to make sure he wouldn't be taking as much damage as were possible. Of course, Rock's double bounce traps try to grab the height advantage and now has the ability to spray from above. Of course, realizing players are building on him from all sorts of angles, decides to go ahead and go up. And we'll see exactly how he tries to challenge this. Of course, a lot of fall damage being taken. No matter what he can try to do, as he will get swarmed by at least a squad and a half. As it looks like at the exact same time, Jaomock tries to go for the res, but it's all for naught as he will fall.
Wow.
And now this sets up an opportunity. A Sypher and
Yep.
Jaomock drop. This is a chance for Ninja and Hysteria to bring it back. But Ninja is down. And just as we started to give a little bit of a hope for what Ninja could provide in this game, it's now on Hysteria. And he is yet to see a player
In the entire game.
in the entirety of this
And, you know,
match.
every time I've looked down to see Hysteria, he's either looting a chest or farming. I'm like, what is the
But
bad luck?
imagine,
Chalk it up for whatever you
imagine.
want to chalk it up for, but geez.
Imagine if he would have found at least a few
Yeah.
kills. Like,
Yep.
we could be saying, okay, they're down 10, they're down 9, they're down 8 kills because of Hysteria's decent start. He's found no one. Like, he has not seen a soul, and it would be looking so much more viable. Like, it's still possible, but we would be saying, okay, Hysteria, there's definitely a chance. Like, hey, this is your opportunity. Now it's like, okay, there's a chance, but it's very, very slim. Like, the percentages absolutely differ with the entire lobby dropped, and now Hysteria, the game is at his hands. And now, if there was ever an opportunity to get into a game, it would be when there are 26 players alive.
Well, Hysteria does spot a team just on the other side, but you notice he's going to make his way towards circle. He's gonna have them push forward, but you notice on the screen so many eliminations going down, and every single one is going to count. Still, 23 engagements remaining. That means only 10 players have to drop at this point. So Hysteria literally needs a miracle in order to carry Ninja through to the winners finals against FaZe. But
He's got to rush these, like straight
well,
up. Like,
the Storm's moving in, they're going to be pushing him. So
I realize that, but every single kill matters. It'd be different if it was like an 8-kill game, 9-kill game, as he hits an amazing snipe there. Like I said, he needs to be the aggressor in that situation. He can't allow these guys to kit up, get into like a certain position to succeed. He needs to take down almost every single player up. You can't afford to lose anyone from the Storm. You can't afford to have excess players take them down. I know it's not the smartest play in the world would be to engage in a situation that doesn't look typical, but he has got to be the atypical. He's got to do stuff that's uncharacteristic, and he has to bring back the deficit. And the only way to do that is to literally play out of your mind aggressive.
Yep. As opposed to how he's playing, which is very sniper heavy.
Yeah.
He's waiting for teams to push him. Luckily, he's going to find a squad right there that's right in front of him, and should be able to pick them up. But that squad before, I completely agree. I think he could have wiped that squad. That would have been 4 right there, another 4 right here, and I could have brought him right back in it. But they are at a significant disadvantage. He cannot afford another squad wipe from a different team. He needs to pick up just at least every single squad kill here in this one.
definitely so. I believe he was taking shots from the mountain just in front of him to his left as he's going to try and find out where this team is, in fact, going to be at. Trying to scope him out a little bit. Does spot ahead, and he gets the knock, but just as he gets the knock, he gets knocked himself, and he is out. And that only means Ninja and Hysteria will be moving to the losers bracket. But that means the Dark Horse team, Sypher and Jaomock, I know you were excited to see them.
Yeah.
They came in playing without Nick Merckx and Sypher, and now they're moving on to the winners finals to play FaZe.
Yeah, massive props, of course, to those boys. They play pretty consistent. And you could argue, right, Ninja and Hysteria, I know we weren't really high in their strategies, of course. You know, they were kind of coming into it with the different game plan. It obviously doesn't work out, but, man, props to Sypher and Jaomock for making it as far as they did. This is definitely Jaomock's highest placement as far as things are considered, or at least definitely has the possible to break that top 8, which I think is his highest overall. But, yeah, man, props to these guys. And now it's going to be a little bit of a reunion, right? You got Jaomock versus his other two teammates in Tfue and Cloakzy. Now's his chance to show his skills and how the kind of like other assets of FaZe are incredibly popular as well.
Yeah,